Good afternoon. You are tuned into Ability Matters, a program that covers matters to do with abilities, disabilities and everything in between. Ability Matters is one of the longest running disability-related programs in the whole wide world. Starting as Headway On Air in 2007, you can now listen to podcasts of previous Ability Matters programs on YouTube and Spotify. Just search for Ability Matters. Ability Matters is brought to you by My Home Living Care, an NDIS registered disability.
That's right, Sean. NDIS Registered Disability Support Program. Thank you, Ability. This is Ability Matters. I'm your host, Tony Sconimillo, and with me as per usual is my new co-host, Beck, or new latest co-host.
All good.
Yeah. Beck from Flagstaff. How are you going?
Good. How are you, Tony?
I'm going all right. I'm still getting a bit used to everything, but yeah, I know I've been here for ages now, but yeah, it seems a big change of everything. Yeah, but
it's all good.
Getting there just fine. No worries.
We'll sort it out.
So what do we got on the cards today?
Okay, so we've actually got a interview that Sean recorded with Nathan Bell. He's from Newcastle, and he does artist extraordinaire, and he does a lot of different forms of art, and he's a client of Reliability, which is the mental health NDIS Support Service in Newcastle. So how about we listen and hear a bit more about what Sean and Nathan have to say?
All right, yeah. Well, let's just, I'll play you a couple of songs first, then we'll get into the Nathan Bell interview, shall we? All right, well, I got first up for today, I got Bobby Darin, Mac the Knife from 1959 from the album The Bobby Darin Story. It was actually composed in the 20s by Kurt Weill. There you go. People are covering even things back in the 50s. There we go. Here we go. Mac the Knife, everyone. Then we get straight in. Then after I play some Bruce Springsteen, the boss, and then we get straight into the interview, shall we? All right, yeah.
Oh, the shark, baby, tonight.
Okay, that was just the boss, Bruce Springsteen, with the song Blinded by the Light from the 1973 album, debut. Greetings from Ashbury Park, New Jersey. Now, some people might know out there that song Blinded by the Light be better known as by the Manfred Mann version. Now, I grew up with that song Manfred Mann, but I didn't realise that Bruce Springsteen was actually the one who wrote the song.
Yeah, I don't think after the 80s, I don't know if a lot of our music is actually original or a take off an older version, because it's so hard to come up with something original.
Especially these days, because everything, if it's original, it sounds more, I suppose, computer generated almost, yeah?
A lot of
electronic, yeah. Back in the 80s, or back in the 70s, I should say, that's when everything was still raw and original, yeah?
Yeah, a lot of guitar solos.
Of course, yes. But now what we have today, we have the pre-recorded interviews with Nathan Bell, as you said earlier. And now this, I'm about to play the first part, which was recorded in February this year.
Interested to hear more about what Reliability is and what Nathan actually does.
How he's getting his music together to benefit the disability. Yes.
It's interesting.
Let's stop speaking. Let's have it straight from the horse's mouth, shall we?
Good morning, everyone, or should I say afternoon? I always say morning, even though it's after 12. My name's Sean, and I'm doing an interview with Nathan Bell. He does a whole lot of things, including working with an organisation called Reliability, creates art, creates literature, has been known to create music and play in bands and do all sorts of exciting things. And we did have him come in on August last year. And just recently he was in the mall selling some stuff like he did last year, and a wide range of things. So hopefully people got the chance to get out there and check him out. But I thought we'd also have a bit of a chat to Nathan just to find out where he's at and get a bit of an update since we spoke to him last August. Good afternoon, Nathan.
Thanks for having me on, Sean.
Not a problem, mate. How are things been? We spoke to you last August. What have you been doing since then?
Oh, I've just continued to be a powerhouse of creativity.
Love that.
You know, I've been travelling around a lot more. I've been going to Sydney every week for about 2 months straight, selling in different parts of Sydney, getting my art out there in Sydney. I've been going to the Central Coast. I've been to Nelson's Bay. So travel's been a big part of the last 6 months to go to different locations and reach new audiences. I've released a couple of new short stories, and I've got a couple more ready to come out. And I've been doing some more images for a new range of gift cards, just a whole bunch of creativity.
Definitely haven't been standing still by the sound of that, mate.
I don't do that.
So where's the best place for you for sales? Have you kind of had somewhere that's, really stood out in terms of people buying things?
I still think where I set up in Newcastle and Hamilton is the best spot for me. I always do very well in Hamilton and Newcastle. Sydney's been a bit hard. People in Sydney are very focused on moving forward, and they don't like to be their attention drawn away from what they're doing. But I've had some sales in Sydney, which has been good. The Central Coast was friendly, but when I was in Wollongong, that was really good as well.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's interesting. Probably a bit sort of from left field, but I moved down to Wollongong about 30 years ago, and the first 6 months or 12 months I used to laugh at, I guess, how slow and, I don't know, slow moving people were down here, but it took me about 6 or 12 months before I realised that's a good thing, and people in Sydney rushing around, and they miss a lot of stuff because they are just focused on the next thing they're going to and rushing to get there and trying to beat the traffic. And yeah, it's interesting you've picked up on that as well, that kind of, like the horses, what do they call it, what do they have put on the horses? The blinkered view of people in Sydney. That's an interesting observation. And I guess sorry, go on.
I can definitely tell you that as a street seller, that slow-moving people buy more.
Yeah, okay. And you've been doing the sales and everything in Hamilton for a while. So do you think people recognise you there? Is that a part of that?
I've become very well known in the area, plus I promote online a lot as well, so a lot of people know who I am, and that definitely helps with my sales. Plus I've developed regular customers who buy everything I bring out. So if I bring out a book now, I can sell 50, 60 copies in a month or two to my regular customers.
Oh, fantastic. You got followers, groupies.
Yes.
We'll talk a little bit later about how people can find you on Facebook and other things. Last time we talked, there was a little bit of a chat about music. You've been doing much music, or you've been putting your efforts into other areas?
I'm always doing a bit of music here and there, and what I've been doing lately is doing some Black Sabbath covers, and because I'm in a band that rehearses on Saturdays at Reliability, and that's our client staff band, and I've been singing Black Sabbath covers, also some of my hard rock originals as well, and we're hoping to get some gigs coming up soon, so I want to have a chance to show off my Ozzy Osbourne voice.
So when you do covers, is it pretty much the same as Black Sabbath did, or do you do your own take on the songs?
I do it pretty much the same. A lot of people say I sound a lot like Ozzy when I sing.
Okay.
So I stick to sounding like Ozzy.
Oh, yeah. I might talk to you, actually. I'm involved with getting involved with a disco called Waves on the Central Coast, held every 3 months at the Leagues Club. And it features people with disability. Have you heard about that at all?
No, but that sounds like something that would be right up my alley.
Yeah. They've had the same band for about 2 years, and there's a few people saying it'd be good to get a bit of a rotation of bands going. So I might have a chat to you about that offline, about getting involved with that. Yeah, okay, fantastic. And with the music, I know we talked last year, have you been sort of touring or playing gigs anywhere, or is it just mostly sort of the practicing?
No, well, our band lineup changed because some of our clients went elsewhere, and things just shifted around. Staff had to go to other jobs. So now we're a whole new lineup, practicing a whole new set of music, which is the difficulty with having a client staff band, because people come and go. But we're preparing again for gigs. We had done some gigs under our old lineup, and now we're preparing the new lineup for some gigs in the future.
Okay there. Wow, Ozzy Osbourne voice, eh? Cool.
It could be quite interesting. It sounds like he has his hat in a lot of different creative arts, singing,
songwriting,
books, photos.
A jack of all trades almost.
Draws, or not drawing, but, art of a different kind.
Right,
yeah.
Yes.
Sounds like he's a busy guy.
Very. He'd certainly be an interesting character if we come to meet him, yeah.
Yeah, no, we'll have to maybe have a look at what he does. I missed out on having a look at it when he was here in Wollongong a few weeks ago.
Yes. I believe he mentioned the Black Sabbath tribute. Was that the Unibar?
I'm not sure. I think he said that they're looking to do it at a few different places.
Oh, right, yes.
They might not have it booked and lined up as yet, but it could be interesting to hear that as well.
Fair enough. Or any Sabbath fan? Or sure. And let's get into another song, shall we? I've got coming up next, Clarence Clemens and Jackson Brown with You're a Friend of Mine from 1985 album Hero. Then after that, we'll get straight back into the next part of the interview. Yeah. And there we go. That was Clarence Clemens and Jackson Brown with You're a Friend of Mine from 1985 album Hero. There we go. And it's not the song from
Yeah, I
Toy
straight
Story?
away went to the Toy Story song, You Got a Friend in Me, but it's not the one.
It has a similar intro to that song by Randy. The song was by Randy Newman from the film Toy Story.
Different song.
Very in the end, yes. Let's get into the second part of the interview with Nathan Bell. It's part 2.
And so you're talking there about clients and staff, and we mentioned reliability. So for those that sort of haven't heard about reliability, how's it spelled? How's the...
It's spelled RELY-ability.
Okay.
ABI, yeah.
And what is it? In a couple of sentences?
Reliability is a creative arts-focused NDIS service, so all of our staff have some relevant qualification in the creative industries, whether it's an animation degree or a music performance degree, and they mentor clients through their creative projects, whether it's an album or whether it's an animation they want to produce, or whether they just want to learn skills in Photoshop or any of those softwares that we have available at our centre. So it's a mentoring service.
Okay. And it primarily sort of works with people with, I guess, mental health experience or lived experience?
Oh, yeah, our owner, Michael, prefers to hire people with lived experience in mental health.
What about clients? Are they mostly people with mental health background or...
Yes, most of our clients have mental health. Some of our clients have other disabilities as well, but it's mostly a mental health service.
Okay. And last time we spoke, I think it was a member of Rose Tattoo was one of the staff members there. Is he still there?
Yes, that's Di Pritchard. He's still there, and he was with Rose Tattoo for something like 16 or 17 years as the lead guitarist. He's also worked with other industry professionals, but yeah, Di is still with us.
And I spoke to Michael and another one of the clients, Paul. Is Paul still around there?
Yeah, Paul's still there. Yeah, definitely.
He was a different...
He comes to Saturday rehearsals.
Oh, yeah, he was a different kind of entertainer. He told me he spent many years with Manpower, touring around Australia and New Zealand and other parts. So it's a different kind of entertainer, I guess.
That's right, he did do that.
Fantastic. And Michael, is any kind of, I know that when I spoke to you guys last year, there were some, really, exciting developments and possibilities of expanding and doing new programs and things like that. Have you guys had a chance to kind of get that stuff bedded down and moving forward?
Well, it's interesting because since I spoke to you last, the service now has a few new clients from the Central Coast, and also we have a client from Sydney who manages to get down to Newcastle to our centre, but we haven't got to opening another centre yet. And there was a lot of talk about opening a centre in Hornsby or something, but I feel like it's going to happen soon.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It's one of those things around, do you have enough clients to sustain rent and, all that logistics of opening a new business or a new part of the business. There's a bit of a tipping point you've got to try and reach, so it's going to be difficult. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I agree. It would be a big investment for Michael to make. I know he wants to do it, but you've got to do your assessments of whether it's feasible.
Yeah, and there's always that initial period where you make a bit of a loss, so you've got to work out if that's going to kind of, financially be sustainable. So we should say Michael, too, is the is CEO and owner?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and he's still involved, it looks like.
Yes, he is still the owner, Michael Macocaddy.
Yeah, he was a good guy. We had a good chat. There's also another version, podcast of that interview on the Ability Matters Spotify feed and the YouTube feed. You can have a chat, listen, and I had a chat to Michael and Paul, the client we talked about before. And so you're a staff member, and you've got a lived experience of background in mental health. But what I'd like to talk about first is what's your role with Reliability?
Well, I'm a staff member on Fridays, but I started as a client, and I'm predominantly a client.
Okay.
And I receive a lot of support from Reliability for my personal artistic pursuit. Then I work for Reliability on Friday doing PR and social media management. I manage social media. I do all of our online content posting and promoting, and I reach out to different media outlets and seek publicity for our clients because we want to get our clients the opportunity to play their music on the radio. We really want to give our clients the best leg up to break into the creative industries, which, as we all know, is very difficult to do. So I manage trying to get exposure for some of our clients. And I used to work for Reliability's mowing company, which doesn't operate anymore. But, yeah, I've been involved with the service for a while, and I've done a number of things there.
I think that's really fascinating. You know, one of the things sometimes that happens with organisations is that, you know, the clients that they work with is not represented in the staff or the board or, you know, that side of the business. But I really like the model that Reliability have, where the people that are the staff have that lived experience and are still working in terms of, you know, receiving support. How does that sort of work? How does that go, having, you know, clients and staff, or the same people being clients and staff, and rotating those roles in some ways?
Well, I think it's an opportunity that can only go to someone who's mature enough to manage the responsibility of being a staff member. Yeah, and our building's fire alarm has just started going off for the second time in a day. So I think it's a role that really only goes to suitable clients, and I'm a very motivated, suitable client.
Yeah, I really like that kind of the experience being baked into the running of the business.
Yeah.
Been involved with lots of organisations, and especially government departments that have had, you know, peer facilitators and things like that, and often they're unpaid roles, and they tend to be a little bit sidelined sometimes. It's almost a bit of a tokenistic kind of thing where they mean well, but some of the consultation's probably not as thorough as it could be. But one of the things I really see about Reliability is that it's not just lip service, it's baked into the way the business works, and, you know, I think that's pretty exceptional.
Yeah, that's right. I agree. It's very much a peer organisation where we want to support each other to improve each other's lives and along our mental health journey. Yeah,
and it's, I don't know, you hear from people like nurses that, you know, they have kids and then they realise what, you know, parents have been saying all along. You know, they get a different perspective, and I think having that lived experience is so important. And I mean, it's not the only thing, obviously, because like you say, you've got to be a suitable person, you've got to have skills and things that you can bring in to the organisation in terms of the job tasks and things like that. But that lived experience, I think, is just gold. I really like the way.
Yeah, exactly.
And
in some ways, that lived experience is the most valuable thing, because it creates empathy with the client so that you can relate to the client.
Yeah. It's one of the things that I really like about Ability Matters. I mean, I'm a manager in an organisation, but our usual presenter and the person that does the board have that lived experience. And, you know, it's really interesting when we have someone that's an OT or a physio and they talk about working with people to learn to walk or talk again. And Tony and Beck can say, oh, yeah, when I learned to do that, this is my perspective. And, you know, it's such a authentic kind of representation of the journey of people have. I think it's a really key thing. So it's, you know, I don't know, I get a real buzz out of seeing an organisation like Reliability do that so well.
Well, thank you, Sean, for that little mention just then.
Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah. We're just trying to go back to the... So I say the darker days, and
yeah, they were a bit sucky, to be honest.
That's a weird, wonderful term, sucky. Wow.
Yeah.
Very, I suppose, almost high school, maybe.
Yeah, it is.
Good old terms back in the day. Yes.
It was interesting to hear what he had to say about all the different things that Reliability helped people with, and the different avenues. He even mentioned at one stage they were mowing people's lawns. So
yes. I know.
Sounds like a very
I know lawn mowing was offered to me as an early form of early form of integration employment sort of thing. But
yeah. I suppose it depends on whether you're an outdoors kind of person, if you like that kind of work. And it's a bit
well,
I used to find that I don't do lawns anymore, but I used to find it as a time trial challenge.
Fair enough.
How quick can I get that whole lawn done?
Beautiful. But at the time, I found an alternative right here on the radio, so that would do me just fine.
There's a place for everyone.
Exactly. Okay, well, The next thing I've got lined up for you guys is Toto with Hold the Line from the 1978 album, self-titled Toto. Here we go. Then after that, we'll see where we go. Great tune. I love it. Yes, that was just Jojo Gunn. Gunn spelled G-U-N-N-E. Yeah, Jojo Gunn with the song Run, Run, Run. Wow, it rhymes. And from the 1972 album, self-titled Jojo Gunn. There you go.
There you go.
Very simple times back in the 70s, weren't they?
They were, but I think they were more effective. Simple, I think, is probably a little bit better. We don't need to get so complicated.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was as simple as the 60s, but I didn't live either of them, so there you go.
No, yes. Even as far back as the 50s, I think it was a lot more pleasant for people. They had a lot more money and
a lot less pressure, maybe.
Yeah, everything was laid back and relaxed.
Because I don't think the world was as exposed. Not as much as the world worldwide was in their face, sort of thing. Like these days on the news, even you got the internet. Everything is around the corner.
I think somewhere along the line we got to where we want everything today, but it has to be done tomorrow. Yeah. I don't know what happened with that, but I like to just do things at a slow pace.
But that's entirely a conversation for another day, I'm sure. But for now, let's just get into the third and final part of the Nathan Bell interview conducted in February earlier this year.
And so how can people find out, well, let's talk about you first. How can people find out about your creative endeavours? Have you got like a Facebook page or a website or something?
Well, if you Google artist, author Nathan Bell Newcastle, quite a lot of articles I've featured in will appear.
Yep.
And you can also look up Nathan Bell Artist on Facebook. You can look up Nathan Bell and the Revolutionaries on YouTube. You can look up Nathan...
Sorry, the Revolutionaries was the band?
Yeah, that's my music name, Nathan Bell and the Revolutionaries.
Yeah, okay.
And you can look up Newcastle Art Resistance on Instagram.
Okay, cool. How can people find out more about reliability?
Oh, you can look up our website, rely-ability.com.au.
And at the moment, as you said, you're basically in the Newcastle area. We've got a couple of clients travelling, but primarily in that. I think you said Hamilton. Is that where the office is at?
Tyers Hill.
Tyers Hill, and that's just south of Newcastle, the city?
Oh, it's very close to the city.
Yeah,
it's within 15 minutes of the city.
Okay. Now, is there anything else you'd like to cover? You're a man of many talents. Is there something else you think we should talk about?
No, I just encourage people to get onto my work and check out my books. I should say as well, you can also look up all of my books on Amazon, and they can be purchased on Amazon. And get into it. Get into the creative movement we're starting. You read some of the art, see some of the pictures, buy the clothing, and enjoy the art.
Yeah, fantastic. And I guess to finish off, how are you these days? I know the sort of nature generally of mental health is up and down, and those sorts of things. How are you been lately? You feeling good?
Oh, I struggle with a bit of anxiety sometimes, but ultimately I'm getting very far in my life and I'm doing the things I love, so I'm a pretty happy guy.
Yeah, okay.
But only because I'm engaged with productive programs that help me do the things I'm passionate about, which gives me a sense of meaning in life.
So it's that whole thing that life's a journey, not a destination. Like you don't sort of solve all your problems and you can sit down and do nothing. It's keep moving forward, keep getting engaged and involved and challenging yourself, sort of thing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. So what's next? What's the next challenge for Nathan?
My biggest goal is to see some of my books turned into short films, and I'm working on making the right connections to make that happen. But I want them filmed in Australia. I want to bring something to Australian cinema, so I'm going to try and make that happen in the next year or two.
Ah, interesting. Is there much of a film kind of industry around Newcastle?
There's a little bit. There's a lot of independent filmmakers around. I'd like to see if I can find the right team for my work.
Okay. Yeah, there's a bit of a fairly strong and growing one in Wollongong. And quite a few people that are very interested in disabilities and abilities and making documentaries and films and things like that. So it'd be interesting to see what's happening in Newcastle and how far you can get with that.
Exactly.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, I really appreciate your time, mate. Thanks for catching up with us and letting know how reliability is going.
Okay, yes, I've just done a bit of a Google search on Nathan Bell and the Revolutionaries. They have several tracks all through YouTube. One of them is called Let's Dance. Another one says Nathan Bell tries to sing Jeff Buckley's version of Hallelujah. And I don't think we can do that just now, but I'll look into that for next time or another time maybe. There's another picture of him here in front of what looks like a personal library of a collection of books behind him. Trisha Cornwall.
His book is titled The King's New Age.
Yes. There you go. So get a pen and paper, write that down when it's released. King's New Age. There we go.